Have you ever wondered what truly lies beyond the boundaries of the world we see? The chilling winds, the heavenly gates opening amidst the skies, or the twinkling stars that are not merely lights but entities bearing mysterious wills, all exist, yet remain hidden from mortal eyes. In the dense darkness, where light seems but a fragile illusion, an invisible network operates everything, from the wind and rain to the destiny of every soul. If you had the chance to witness these scenes firsthand, would you dare to take it? This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It is where the gates of heaven open, not only to reveal gentle breezes that bring life, but also fierce winds that carry destruction. It is where the stars are guided by ancient laws, each star holding a story that has never been told. And amidst it all, a question resonates through the vast expanse. Are humans truly insignificant? Or are we part of this ever-breathing universe? Join me as we turn the pages of the Book of Enoch to seek the answers. I promise this video will completely transform your perspective and may become a turning point in your life. It is not only about the mysteries of the heavenly realms, unseen by mortal eyes, but also the profound lessons God conveyed to us through Enoch. May the light of God illuminate your soul and help you receive His entire message through this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to explore more mysterious and unsolved stories in the Bible. There are places in this world that belong neither to light nor to darkness, but exist in the boundary between these extremes, as if crafted to contain the greatest mysteries of the universe. Enoch, in his tireless journey, arrived at such a place, a site known as the center of the earth. Yet this is not the physical core we might imagine, but a sacred intersection where the principles of life and death converge into a mysterious reality. Here, Enoch beheld a strange realm, as if torn from another world. Rows of trees with wondrously blossoming branches rose from the ground, seemingly growing from fragments of their severed trunks, broken yet alive. Amid this landscape stood a towering sacred mountain, reigning as the center of the entire universe. At its base, a crystal-clear stream flowed southward, quiet yet carrying an indescribable force. As Enoch turned his gaze to the east, another mountain appeared, higher and more majestic. It stood there, towering proudly over the deep chasms separating it from the western mountain, which, though smaller and more remote, was no less foreboding. Between these peaks lay narrow, icy ravines, like massive fissures in the surface of a world trying to conceal its inner ruin. At the feet of the mountains, craggy crevices stretched across the land, formed by rock as hard as iron. No roots could take hold in this barren terrain, leaving behind a desolate, unsettling scene. Enoch was struck with awe. Each mountain, each abyss, seemed to breathe an enigmatic energy, both alluring and menacing. The slender stream winding through the ravines shimmered like threads of light, as though whispering ancient tales no one dared to hear. Yet it was the dryness of the ravines that troubled him most. These desolate places, once seemingly brimming with life, now echoed with a haunting silence, a grim reminder that nothing, not even sacredness, is eternal. Drawn closer to the ravines, Enoch fixed his gaze on the towering stone walls. They were not ordinary rock. Their surfaces were smooth, untouched by time or nature. It seemed they had been carved by a hand, not of this world, each detail etched with messages only the cosmos could comprehend. He wondered if these deep chasms might be gates to another realm, a reality he was not meant to enter. He stood still, overwhelmed by the sight, his heart filled with emotions beyond words. This was not merely a location. It was a whisper from the universe, a secret buried in the earth's heart, awaiting someone brave enough to decipher it. And Enoch, with his unwavering gaze fixed on the shadowed ravines and the silent streams, knew he had encountered something far greater than himself, a fragment of truth he could no longer ignore. Standing amidst vibrant greenery radiating miraculous life, Enoch felt a cold wind pass by, as if from a realm beyond this world. In the distance, a valley came into view, unlike any he had ever seen, barren, grim, and imbued with an unnamed sense of death. "Why has this land been cursed?" Enoch asked, his voice softening, as if fearing the question itself might awaken something dreadful. Uriel, the holy angel beside him, replied, his voice echoing like the resonance of eternity. "This valley is reserved for those eternally accursed, those who have spoken blasphemies against God, defiling his name with wicked words, will be gathered here. This will be the place of their judgment." Enoch stood still, overwhelmed. He could feel the oppressive energy emanating from the valley, as though every speck of dust screamed with the lamentations of forgotten souls. "What will the day of judgment be like?" he asked, his eyes fixed on the desolate land, where no trees or streams dared to tread. "On the final day," Uriel continued, his radiance tempering the darkness surrounding them, "the accursed will witness the ultimate justice of God before the righteous. This will not only mark their end, but will affirm that all sin will be judged, and every blasphemy will be repaid. While they sink into the darkness of judgment, the righteous will praise God for his infinite mercy. They will bless his name for decreeing destinies with perfect justice and boundless compassion." Enoch felt the profound duality of this place, a land brimming with life encircled by the valley of the accursed. It was as if he stood at the boundary between hope and despair, light and darkness, salvation and destruction. He could not help but wonder, is this the final destination of all who have strayed? And would he, a mere witness to these revelations, have the strength to convey what he had seen to humanity? As Uriel's light enveloped him, Enoch bowed his head, his heart filled with reverence. He no longer gazed at the valley of the accursed, but turned instead to the land of blessing, where vibrant trees stood tall, a symbol of hope. "Blessed be the Lord of glory," he whispered, his voice blending with the stillness. "You, the Eternal One, have created all this with perfect justice and infinite mercy." And as Enoch departed, he knew the valley of the accursed and the land of blessing would forever remain a solemn reminder that every soul, whether humble or great, will meet its destiny in the light of supreme judgment. Yet for those who hold steadfast in faith and live righteously, a path to life and light will always await. Enoch journeyed deeper into lands where the light was but a distant memory, and the secrets of the universe revealed themselves with every step. To the east, a desolate mountain range emerged before him, as if the entire world had been drained of life, leaving behind only a haunting stillness. No signs of familiar life stirred here. No sound broke the silence save the howling wind sweeping through the barren rocks. It was a wasteland, a desert of darkness and silence. Yet within this stark emptiness, something seemed to await. His footsteps led him to the heart of the wilderness, where, unexpectedly, lush vegetation and trees appeared, as if the land itself was guarding a profound secret. Vibrant green canopies rose defiantly from the arid soil, creating a surreal landscape. But the most captivating sight was not the foliage, it was the water. A torrent of water burst forth from the high mountain peaks, flowing fiercely and endlessly, as though it were a living soul seeking escape from the mountain's depths. Enoch paused beside this extraordinary cascade, watching as the waters surged down, forming a powerful, foaming waterfall. The water did not merely flow, it pulsed with life. It breathed. Its thunderous sound carried whispers from the cosmos, bearing messages from realms untouched by light. The water not only moistened the barren earth, but also released vapor that coalesced into ethereal clouds. These misty formations rose from the ground, mingled with the stream, and then dissolved into the air, vanishing like wandering souls finding their way home. Tiny droplets hovered in the air, forming glistening dewdrops that blanketed the foliage and the soil. Enoch touched a dew-covered leaf, feeling the cold seep into his skin, as though the universe itself was imparting a secret to him through each droplet. The waters flowed northwest, relentless and unyielding, as if they carried a grand purpose beyond human comprehension. Yet what unsettled Enoch was not the water's power, but its unity with everything around it. The clouds, the dew, the dim light from the sky, all seemed to be drawn into an endless cycle, a dance of life and dissolution. The water was not merely a part of nature, it was a being in its own right, orchestrating everything in this region, granting life, yet threatening to engulf all in its fury. Lifting his gaze to the rushing waters, Enoch's eyes reflected a mix of awe and fear. He could not help but wonder, where did this water come from, and where would it lead? The question was more than curiosity. It was an obsession, as if he stood before a reality far beyond his understanding. In this desolation, the water was the heart, the center of all things. Yet it was also a warning that even the most beautiful and powerful forces could harbor unfathomable darkness. The dense clouds and the chilling dew all evoked a sense that this place was more than a mere desert. It was a threshold, a gateway to something far greater and far more mysterious. Bowing his head, Enoch was overwhelmed with emotion. The water flowed on, ceaseless and undiminished. In its vitality, he understood a profound truth. Everything, no matter how small or grand, has a role in the vast workings of the universe. And this water, with its might and its enigma, did more than give life. It posed a chilling question. Would it lead you to the light, or drag you into an endless abyss of darkness? Amid the impenetrable darkness of the desert night, Enoch continued eastward toward the mountains, where light seemed to be suffocated by an overwhelming shadow. There, a strange sight unfolded before him. No longer did the barren emptiness of the desert stretch endlessly. Instead, a small forest emerged, exuding an intoxicating and alluring fragrance. This aroma did not merely linger in the air, but seeped into the very wind, enveloping Enoch with every breath, as if drawing him into an invisible labyrinth. The trees he saw were unlike any he had encountered before. They stood tall and imposing, like guardians of an ancient secret. Their bark was rough and knotted, yet oozed a translucent resin that emitted the heady scents of frankincense and myrrh. The air around them felt heavier, and each step Enoch took sent a shiver through him, as though he had entered a forbidden realm where time and space no longer held meaning. The fragrance, gentle yet piercing, stirred a strange mix of emotions, both comforting and unsettling. Enoch realized these were no ordinary trees. They were living symbols of the intersection between life and death, light and darkness. Their emerald green leaves gleamed like precious gems, unmoving despite the ceaseless wind. Tiny blossoms adorned their branches, shaped like almond flowers, radiant yet enigmatic, as if each petal whispered tales from a distant, unfathomable place. When Enoch touched one of the trees, the aromatic resin clung to his hand. A fleeting yet profound memory washed over him, not his own, but one that seemed to belong to an entire world now lost to time. He gazed at the trees with a reverence beyond words. The fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, once used to anoint kings and sanctify the divine, now emanated from these very trees. A poignant reminder that he was standing before something far greater than himself. These trees, like every element of Enoch's journey, were not merely part of nature. They stood as silent witnesses to a reality beyond human comprehension, where every form of life carried meaning and purpose. Their fragrance was not just a scent, but an invitation, a whisper beckoning him deeper into the shadows, where truth waited, shrouded in equal parts wonder and dread. As Enoch walked through the aromatic grove, he could not help but wonder, how long had these trees existed? What were their origins? And what sacred truths were they guarding? Each branch, each drop of resin seemed to hold a fragment of the world's memory. Though not everyone would have the courage to grasp it, the fragrance enveloped him still, like an unseen hand clutching each breath. Yet Enoch knew he could not linger. While the trees stirred an unending curiosity, he understood they were but a piece of a much larger puzzle. Beyond this forest of intoxicating scents lay even greater and more fearsome mysteries, secrets that only the brave dared to confront. Enoch had traveled far to the east, passing through lands where darkness seemed eternal. Now, before him lay a valley filled with water, yet unlike any valley he had ever seen. The waters here did not merely shimmer, they seemed to breathe, each ripple carrying faint, otherworldly murmurs, like whispers from a distant realm. At the center of the valley stood a mysterious fragrant tree, majestic as though it were a deity presiding over the scene. The tree's trunk bore a hue impossible to describe, as if the light itself had fractured into countless fragments upon its surface. It exuded both allure and peril, drawing in any who dared approach with the promise of an inescapable truth. From the tree wafted a sweet fragrance, akin to mastic resin, a precious aromatic once used in ancient rites. Yet here, the scent was no mere aroma. It was a living presence, enveloping Enoch and permeating his every breath. Along the valley slopes, Enoch noticed rows of cinnamon trees exuding their rich, heady aroma. Their lush green leaves and deep crimson bark seemed to conceal a tale they could not voice. The scent of cinnamon mingled with the mastic from the central tree, creating a symphony of ancient memories, whispers of a past that only the brave could dare to hear. Each step Enoch took felt guided by an unseen force, though he dared not venture too close. This valley of water was not merely a picturesque landscape, it was a sentient entity, a gateway to something deeper, more ancient, and beyond human understanding. His eyes were fixed on the central tree, where every leaf seemed to glow and every branch quivered in harmony with the flowing waters. This valley was not just a place, but a nexus of the natural and the supernatural, where every element pulsed with meaning yet carried hidden perils. Even so, the presence of the surrounding water brought Enoch a sense of peace, as though its perpetual flow was a reminder of life and balance. Yet he also realized that the same waters could carry both salvation and destruction. What appeared tranquil could conceal the most cunning trap, and the secrets of this valley might forever remain buried beneath its glistening surface. As Enoch moved beyond the valley, continuing eastward, the image of the central tree and the rows of cinnamon trees remained etched in his mind. The fragrance of mastic and cinnamon was not merely a fleeting memory. It felt like a warning, a sign that he had reached the fragile boundary between light and darkness. Though he could not foresee what awaited him, Enoch knew with certainty that his journey was only beginning. As Enoch continued his journey eastward, a new mountain range rose before him, towering, majestic, and unlike the desolate peaks he had traversed before. These mountains were not cold or barren. Instead, lush green forests nestled among them seemed to whisper with the wind, their trembling leaves carrying a faint yet alluring fragrance that stirred the soul. From within these forests, thick honey-like resin flowed, glistening under the pale light, as though the mountains themselves were weeping. This resin, known as sarera and galbanum, had once been used in sacred rituals, and its aroma pervaded the air. It soothed not only the mind but also evoked the sensation of an unseen presence, as if this land was guarded by a power beyond human understanding. Yet, the mystique of this place did not end there. Further east, a solitary mountain loomed, standing apart like a living entity. Its slopes were covered with dense aloe trees, their leaves radiating an eerie beauty. The sap of these trees, when burned, released a fragrance beyond mere sweetness. It was surreal. This aroma transcended the senses, awakening something deep within Enoch. It was not merely a scent but an experience, a gentle whisper from realms unseen, carrying the stories of ancient souls. As Enoch traversed the mountains and forests, he was filled with both awe and unease. Each step seemed to draw him closer to a forgotten truth. Yet the air grew heavier with the unsettling sense that he was intruding upon a realm forbidden to mortals. The Surreal resin, the aloe trees, and their burning fragrance merged into a strange symphony, a dance between life and shadow. Enoch could not help but wonder, who had created this place? And did the soothing serenity mask a far greater, more terrifying secret? The farther he ventured, the more Enoch felt as though he was treading a fragile boundary between two worlds, a place where reality and the mystical intertwined, where the light itself seemed to conceal the darkness beneath. These mountains and forests were not mere landscapes, they were gateways, guardians of ancient secrets that only the bravest dared to uncover. As he left this enigmatic land, Enoch turned to look back, the fragrance still lingering in the air like a mark of the unexplainable. He understood that this was not just a place but a reminder of the profound connection between humanity and the cosmos, between the past and the present, and between life and death. Yet, he also knew that what he had witnessed was merely the surface of a far greater truth, a truth waiting ahead, where darkness and light would inevitably clash in an eternal struggle. As the darkness receded, Enoch found himself in a landscape both wondrous and strange. Heading north, past towering mountains, he encountered 7 successive ranges, each adorned with rare fragrant trees. These mountains, like silent giants, bore the life of precious aromatic plants such as nard, cinnamon, and pepper. The scents from these trees did not merely waft through the air, but seemed to pierce Enoch's very being, compelling him forward, as if an unseen voice were calling his name. Climbing the peaks shrouded in mist, Enoch turned eastward, crossing the vast Erythraean Sea, a body of water imbued with secrets buried in its depths. Beyond it, he passed the domain of the angel Zodiel, whose quiet presence reminded Enoch that he was treading the line between the earthly and the supernatural. Eventually, Enoch entered a place beyond words, the Garden of Righteousness. The sights here were unlike anything he had ever seen. Majestic trees stretched high, their trunks straight as spears, reaching toward the heavens. Their lush, green canopies spread wide, exuding a sweet fragrance. But among them, one tree stood apart. It was the tree of wisdom, towering like a king reigning over the garden. Its height rivaled the mightiest cedar. Its leaves resembled those of the carob tree, and its fruit hung in clusters like grapes, glistening as if infused with the light of wisdom itself. Enoch gazed upon the tree with reverence and curiosity. Its fragrance permeated the air, sinking deep into his breath and awakening the furthest recesses of his mind. "How can a tree be so beautiful and so captivating?" he murmured, his eyes fixed on it. At that moment, Raphael, the holy angel who had accompanied him, spoke. His voice was deep and resonant. "This is the tree of wisdom, the same tree from which your forebears, the first of your kind, once ate. Through it, their eyes were opened, and they became aware of their nakedness. For this, they were cast out of this garden forever. Raphael's words struck Enoch like a blade, leaving a heavy silence in their wake. He looked at the tree of wisdom again, no longer seeing just its beauty, but feeling the weight of the danger it held. This tree was not merely a source of knowledge, it was a symbol of loss, of choices that led to eternal separation from the light and peace of this sacred place. The fragrance of the tree lingered in the air, an irresistible allure. Yet Enoch understood that this was not something he could touch. The tree of wisdom was not merely beautiful. It was a reminder that knowledge always comes at a cost. What his forebears had chosen, though it illuminated their understanding, had also cast them into the shadow of loss. As Enoch left the garden, the image of the tree of wisdom remained imprinted in his mind. He realized he had witnessed not only a symbol of profound wisdom, but also the delicate boundary between light and darkness, between knowledge and sacrifice. The tree's fragrance still lingered, a reminder that every choice bears a price, and true wisdom is never gained without consequence. Enoch's journey took him to the very edge of the world, a place no one could have dared to imagine. The scene before him was a tapestry of grandeur and mystery, where the impossible merged into a stunning reality. Colossal creatures appeared, each with a bizarre and distinct form, as if they were the remnants of long-forgotten nightmares from the dawn of creation. Their eyes glowed like torches piercing the darkness, peering deep into Enoch's soul, as though probing his innermost thoughts. Above them, in the vast expanse of the heavens, strange birds with wings of vibrant colors soared. Their songs echoed like melodies from distant realms, each note carrying a different emotion, sweetness, fear, or an indescribable majesty. These birds were not merely living beings, they were symbols, fragments of a reality far greater than anything Enoch had ever known. To the east of these beasts and birds, Enoch saw something that sent a chill down his spine. The edge of the earth, where the heavens seemed to meet the ground, a boundary where the natural and the supernatural intertwined. Here, the gates of heaven stood open, and Enoch beheld the stars emerging, one by one, as if summoned from the infinite darkness. These were not merely sparkling lights in the sky, but living entities, each with its own essence, its own name, and its own divinely ordained path. Surreal, the angel who had guided Enoch throughout his journey, stood beside him. His gaze shone with the brilliance of the universe's secrets. "Do you see, Enoch?" Surreal said, his voice resonating like a bell tolling in the stillness. "These gates are not merely the origin of the stars, but the source of all order. Each star has a name, a position, and a purpose. They all move according to the laws set forth by God." Overwhelmed with awe, Enoch watched the stars' every motion. He began to write, recording their names, their paths, and their cycles as Surreal revealed them to him. Yet as he wrote, a strange feeling arose within him. It was not just the act of recording. He felt as though he was bearing witness to a profound truth unknown to humanity. These stars were more than celestial lights. They were beings imbued with the will of the Almighty, each a piece of the immense tapestry of the cosmos. Surreal continued, his voice steady and filled with solemn authority. "Everything has its laws, Enoch. Even the stars, distant as they are not beyond God's command. They move in their appointed times, their months, and their years, everything written before time began. Nothing is outside the order of God." Enoch felt an overwhelming sense of reverence, as though he stood at the center of all things in the universe. He gazed upon the shimmering stars, the open gates of heaven, and the towering beasts below, all connected in a vast, intricate, and unbreakable web. Yet amidst the wonder, a quiet fear crept into his heart. If everything had its place in this divine order, where did humanity, a small and fragile creation, fit within it? As Uriel led him away, the images remained etched deeply in Enoch's mind. The heavenly gates, the living stars, and the strange, majestic creatures were more than mere visions. They were reminders that the universe was not just a realm of existence, but a complex mechanism guided by a supreme will. And Enoch was not merely a scribe. He was a chosen witness, tasked with seeing, understanding, and sharing these mysteries with those willing to listen. At the northern edge of the world, where sunlight seemed never to reach, Enoch stepped into a land of the unimaginable. The icy air clung to every breath, as if the very sky exhaled whispers of eternity. Before him loomed a colossal structure, not a machine crafted by human hands, but a living construct, radiant with a supernatural beauty beyond comprehension. It defied description, yet Enoch sensed it was the command center for the elements of the earth. As Enoch looked upward, he saw 3 heavenly gates opening in the vast, endless sky, like fractures in the fabric of the heavens. From these gates, northern winds surged forth, each carrying a distinct, undeniable power. From the first gate came gentle breezes, imbued with a cool yet refreshing touch, like the whispers of spring after a harsh winter. But from the other 2 gates descended ferocious winds, violent and unrelenting, bringing ice, hail, and storms, agents of destruction and sorrow. Uriel, the angel standing beside Enoch, pointed toward the gates. His voice resonated like a bell ringing in the silent expanse. "Do you see, Enoch? Here is where the northern winds originate, where the elements of the earth are determined. These gates are not merely passages for the winds, but symbols of balance and opposition. The first gate brings life, but the other 2 bring punishment and trials." Enoch observed the winds sweeping through, feeling their irresistible power. He saw hailstorms raining down like arrows from heaven, snowflakes descending as veils of death, and tempests raging with devastation in their wake. Yet he also witnessed morning dew gently resting on the grass and refreshing rains nourishing the earth, breathing new life into the world. All of this emanated from these 3 heavenly gates. Uriel continued, his eyes gleaming in the darkness. "Not all winds are wicked. The winds from the first gate carry the mercy of God, but the other 2 gates serve as reminders that the earth cannot endure without balance. The winds of punishment and the winds of salvation are both essential to maintaining the order of the universe." Enoch shuddered. What he witnessed was not merely a natural phenomenon, but the mechanism of the cosmos, where every element was precisely arranged, flawless in its execution. He realized that these gates controlled more than winds. They were portals to a greater reality where every aspect of life on earth was governed by unbreakable laws. As Enoch departed from this awe-inspiring place, his gaze lingered on the magnificent structure and the 3 gates in the heavens. He knew he had glimpsed one of the greatest mysteries, a place where life and death were decided, where mercy and judgment intertwined to create the unshakable balance of the universe. And he understood that, despite humanity's smallness, people were still a part of this vast, ceaseless mechanism, part of the winds that forever flowed from the heavenly gates. As Enoch continued his journey to the outermost edges of the earth, he encountered supernatural sights far beyond human understanding. This time, moving westward, he saw 3 heavenly gates before him, resembling those he had previously witnessed in the east. These gates were not merely outlets for the winds, but portals unveiling the grandeur of the universe. Through each gate, flows of wind, light, and natural elements surged forth, as if carrying the very breath of creation itself. Traveling south, Enoch came across another set of 3 gates, each associated with a unique purpose. From these gates, mist, rain, and wind poured out, blanketing the land. Yet, What Enoch perceived was more than a natural phenomenon. He saw the delicate balance these elements brought to the world. Raindrops revived barren earth. Winds carried the breath of life, and the mist wove a veil of mystery, concealing ancient secrets. Undeterred, Enoch pressed on toward the east, where another trio of gates opened. Above each gate were smaller ones from which the stars emerged. Following their predetermined paths westward, he observed each star, radiant and purposeful, fulfilling its eternal mission. Every star had its own orbit, name, and schedule, all meticulously arranged within the grand design understood only by the Most High. Enoch stood in awe of the magnificence before him. It was not only the existence of these gates and natural elements, but the perfect harmony in which everything operated within an unbreakable order. Winds, rain, mist, and stars all moved according to the laws set by an unseen yet omnipotent hand. He could not help but marvel at the precision and purpose woven into every detail and motion of the universe, a realm where even the tiniest grain of sand played its role in the vast cosmic symphony. As Enoch beheld all this, he was compelled to praise the Most High, the Lord of glory. He realized that what he witnessed was not merely a physical phenomenon, but a powerful reminder of the eternal presence of the Creator. The gates, the stars, and all the elements of the universe stood as undeniable testimonies to his boundless power and creativity. From angels and spirits to humanity itself, all were called to glorify the greatness of God. With every step and every vision, Enoch felt the weight of his smallness before the vast expanse of the universe. Yet, he also understood his purpose, to be a witness, chosen to comprehend and convey these mysteries. And so, he continued to praise and exalt, knowing that what he had seen was but a fraction of the immeasurable greatness of the Most High. This universe, in all its vastness and mystery, was an endless hymn to God, and Enoch, a traveler through its boundaries, had become part of its divine symphony. Enoch's journey was not merely a witness to unimaginable sights, but a profound tapestry of lessons echoed through every heavenly gate, every radiant star, and every icy wind that swept across the earth. This is not a tale of mere mysteries, but a whisper from the universe, a message for all of us, small wanderers caught between life and death. The first lesson is one of harmony, a delicate balance maintained by the entire cosmos. The winds from the gates can bring life, yet they can also unleash destruction in an instant. The stars follow their ordained paths, yet each orbit holds the potential to herald light or cast shadows. The universe is impartial. It operates under immutable laws where every blessing carries responsibility, and every action leaves its mark on the symphony of existence. Amid the grandeur of the stars and the winds lies humanity, small and fragile, like a drop in an infinite ocean. And yet, we are not insignificant. Enoch's journey serves as a reminder that even the most delicate beings have a role to play, chosen not for his strength, but for his ability to observe and bear witness. Enoch became the messenger of the cosmos' magnificence. Perhaps, in the chaos of this world, each of us is also a witness to something greater than ourselves. Above all, this journey is a call to compassion. The gates release rains of salvation and tempests of fury. The stars guide us, but may also lead us astray. Every detail is a reminder that power is not to be feared, but revered. In the vastness of the universe, even the smallest actions, a word, a thought, a decision, can tip the fragile scales of life. We are not mere observers, we are stewards, souls entrusted with the responsibility to act with compassion, even when no one is watching. The most awe-inspiring and terrifying truth is this: all of it exists under the watchful gaze of the Most High. He is not a distant symbol, but the very reality and heartbeat of all things. The twinkling stars, the winds that blow, even the breaths we take, all are evidence of his presence. This is not a threat, but an invitation to look deeply into ourselves, into the world around us, and to find light even in the deepest shadows. The universe is not silent. It sings, it weeps, it laughs with us. The Book of Enoch is a message from the heart of God, an invitation to listen, to see, and to feel, not just to exist, but to become part of an eternal symphony where light and darkness together weave the story of life. I hope this video helps each of you find a lesson meant just for you. Thank you for watching until the end, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. May God bless you. Please subscribe to our channel to enjoy more captivating Bible stories from us.